Sunday morning, up with the lark. I think I'll go for a walk in the park. Let's hope it's a hey, beautiful day for Celtic, because as it stands, it's game on. It is game on as it stands. Aberdeen are top of the table, looking down on Celtic. Aberdeen won their game last night, 1-0, and it does put them on 25 points. And Celtic are on 22, the Sevco are on 16. So Celtic, it is a must-win game today to regain top spot in the SPFL. Aberdeen are certainly on a fine vein of form. I was kind of hoping that Dundee United might have done something yesterday, but the fact that they kept Aberdeen to just the one goal is good, but I wanted them to get above the Sevco. I wanted Dundee United to get above Sevco and put a bit of pressure on them. Today, but we are away to Motherwell. Who are sitting in 5th position on 13 points. Motherwell will be thinking, listen, if we can get a win, we can jump above Dundee United. If Motherwell would get a win, that would be the biggest shock in Scottish football for a long time. Let me just do some like this, and don't want to do that. Just do this. Let's just jump into the comments section first of all. Say good morning to everyone, and there's a few things I want to talk about with regards to Celtic and how lucky and how good the result was in Atalanta. I know the game has passed, but the results yesterday, the results last night, the results yesterday shows how good it was a performance to get the draw in Atalanta. Anyway, Grabboy was up first of all. He says, happy Sunday morning, Baz, and to all the boys and girls around the world. Andrew Kicks says, morning, Baz. Take a good performance today. Happy 3 points. Celtic fans all around the world. From a fellow Fifer living in Spain. There you go. We're all over the place, aren't we? Callum says, yo, Greens. I'm in Movewell for game, just at pub. I think Callum Coyle's still on it for last night. I remember those days. I remember getting on the bus in the morning, and if you've been out all night, and there's times I've been still hammered and got on the bus, and you're like, oh God, man, you're here asleep to Celtic Park, and then just to start all over again. Fantastic times when you're a young guy. Hazel says, good morning, Catholic Rebels in the house, Tam Max in the house, Stephen Johnston's in the house, Paul McEwen is, Jesus, loads of comments. Calm down. Paul McCoon's in the house. Big Des is in the house. Good morning, Des. Grabboy's in the house. Paul Bear's in the house. Mark is in the house. Christopher says, if Celtic get a decent lead today, we must not let it slip like last week. It's going to be a difficult game after the midweek performance. I think that the result in Italy is bigger than what you think. I know we're going to talk about that in a second. Just give me a second. Grace T's in the house. Kyle's in the house. Magnus is in the house. Jim F's in the house. And Brian's in the house. Brian and Motherwell are a bit of a bogey team for us. Yes, they have been over the years. Seamus in the house. Aberdeen to keep going. Fancy them to beat any team apart from us after this start. Yep. And Mobley's coming in for Newton Mearns. And that's about it just now, but I'm going to jump into the results from yesterday. When you look at it, Atalanta went out yesterday and won 6-1 at home. They scored in the 6th minute, the 9th minute, the 58th minute, and when was the other two goals? No, they scored in the 6th, the 9th, the 29th, the 34th, the 58th, the 14th minute. Jesus. They went on an absolute roll yesterday. Atalanta annihilated Verona. Absolutely annihilated them. So the 0-0 result that Celtic got is even more impressive when you see that they went out and absolutely gubbed the team 6-1. Now, it's not only the Atalanta score that caught my eye. After the Dortmund game, Dortmund in the Champions League got absolutely mauled by Real Madrid. Dortmund went 2-0 up in the first 34 minutes, and then they got absolutely gubbed. It was one-way traffic by Real Madrid. But last night, I watched what has to be one of the best games of football I've watched this season so far. I did watch the Real Madrid-Barcelona game, and Barcelona gubbed Real Madrid 4-0. I've got to say, young Yamal, what a player he is. But Barcelona gubbed Real Madrid 4-0. Now you're saying, well, what's that to do with Celtic? Because Real Madrid gubbed Dortmund, and I think it shows that Barcelona are the team to watch in the Champions League this season. And Barcelona got a cracking result, but they absolutely gubbed Real Madrid, who absolutely gubbed Dortmund. And that then brings us on to the next bit, because one of our next games in the Champions League is against RB Leipzig. And RB Leipzig sit top of the table in Germany. Let me just get this. RB Leipzig, where is the league? I must have closed the page down. Give me 2 seconds. There we go. RB Leipzig sit top of the league. With 8 matches played, they're sitting on 20 points. And Dortmund are sitting down in 8th position on 13th. RB Leipzig isn't going to be an easy game. And if we think it is, we need to watch out, because Dortmund, who absolutely annihilated Celtic in Germany, RB Leipzig went out last night and they won 3-1. I know we don't play them for another 2 midweeks, but it's pretty ominous. The fact that they got 15 shots on goal, 9 on target. Possession was 42%. The pass accuracy was only 80%. So maybe that's a little thing that Celtic can maybe manipulate, the fact that their passing accuracy was only 80%. I mean, Celtic's is generally up and around in the late 80s, 90% pass accuracy the past couple of weeks. But it just shows you that Celtic have not been given the credit that I think was thoroughly deserved, especially when you see the results last night. And the fact that Atalanta yesterday absolutely annihilated Verona at home 6-1. It is just unbelievable that Celtic got that draw in the Champions League, and it shows you how important and how good it was. So going into this game today, the Celtic team will be absolutely buzzing with the fact that, we've got a bit of competition at the top of the league. Aberdeen are sitting top of the table. But that doesn't matter, because we know the way that we can play, and we also know that the team can defend pretty well. And that was the problem against Aberdeen. We didn't defend very well. We went to sleep. We fell asleep at the wheel against Aberdeen, which allowed them to get the draw. Well, we all know that the one and only Motherwell will play 5 at the back, and they're going to sit back, but it is what it is. Anyway, that takes me on to the next part of the video. Whilst I'm on the subject, just a reminder, it is coming up for Christmas. As it's coming up for Christmas, you remember that we do have an Amazon page. We do have an Amazon shop where you can buy the likes of green Adidas stuff and trainers and all the rest of it. And if you just go down into the description of any video, and if you click on it, it takes you through to your Amazon shop. Now, you don't need to buy just from the Amazon shop. You can get your missus, if it's your missus that does it, get her to click onto our page, and we still manage to get a commission, which helps that shop out. Anyway, I just thought I would do that, because I've never spoken about the Amazon shop for a long time. But we do have an Amazon shop on Amazon. It is amazon.co.uk/OneCelticFanStreet. But anyway, go into any description of any video, and you'll get the link to the Amazon shop. And you can go into the Celtic website, or you can go onto the Hoops Merch website, which will be getting updated this week with the run up to Christmas. I want to get stuff pumped out for Christmas. Anyway, there was a lone player. We've been talking about the situation with Greg Taylor. We have been talking about the situation with Greg Taylor, and we've also been talking about little Alex Baye, who I think he's only going to be here for the year. I don't think that Celtic will sign him. But there is a forgotten player that is still on the books at Celtic. He is still on the books at Celtic, but he's out on loan. And it's Alexandro Bernabe. And I want you to watch this. I'll go this way so you can get more of the screen. I'll just make it a little bit bigger. I'm going to have to go this way. And that. Now, once again, he's on fire down in Brazil. He is on absolute fire down in Brazil is Bernabe. And we're just going to play this goal. And You actually see Bernabe over here. But watch this. Watch the run for Bernabe. It's going to come into the screen just about now. Bang! What a goal from Bernabe. What an absolute screamer. Absolute screamer for Bernabe. I'm just coming into the picture now. Coming in late. There he comes. A bang. Into the back of the net. There you go. Could it be the fact that maybe, I'm going to say it, could Celtic bring Alexandro Bernabe back to Celtic? I think it's all we all believe that he might be sold this transfer window, the next transfer window, but as it stands, he's scoring goals. He is scoring goals. He scored a couple of goals, a couple of crackers down in Brazil. So it's just to get your thoughts on that and wonder what will actually happen with Alexandro Bernabe. Let's put the league back up as we jump back into the comment section of the video. What about Bernabe? He's scoring an absolute screamer for the edge of the box. And the reason I'm talking about that is because obviously Greg Taylor is leaving Celtic, or we think will leave Celtic in the next transfer window due to the fact his contract runs out at the end of the summer. Alex Bailly is only on loan from Barcelona, who had an absolute fantastic game last night. I mean, he'd be sitting watching that last night in the team hotel, absolutely buzzing, because Barcelona away to Madrid absolutely just annihilated Madrid 4-0. I mean, it wasn't just one-way traffic. Madrid had their chances. But could it be the fact that Bernabe has went back, he's in Brazil, and could he be brought back to Celtic is the question. I mean, I doubt it, but you know, Celtic are bound to be sitting looking at it going, he is still our player. He is still our player. Could he come back and do a job in Scottish football? Could he come back and settle in Scotland? I think that was the problem last time. It was the cultural differences, and that was what caused him to not get on well in Scotland. Right, let's jump back into the comments section. Rod from Brecons Inn, Brown Warrior said greens with your vegetable patch. And Motherwell Callum. Paul Baird's in the house saying hail to Stephen. Motherwell are a bogey team, yeah, they are that. Seema says Aberdeen to keep going. I fancy them to beat any team apart from us. I think I'll be drill them. Ali Boy 1888 says I would love to see a good convincing 3 or 4-0 win today for St Mirren. Dortmund manager's coat is currently on a sugary peg, says Brown Warrior. How shite are their tactics? Were Dortmund's tactics? Atalanta missed about 4 clear headers on goal bars. That's why we drew. You can say whatever about they missed this and they missed that, but Celtic missed a couple of cracking opportunities as well, Brown Warrior. Right, so let's not downplay what Celtic did. When Kyogo was man to the keeper, It rather than take a touch, he tries to lob it over the keeper. If he took one touch and slams that into the back of the net with about 10-15 minutes to go, it would have changed the game. So let's not just say it was all Atlanta were poor and Atlanta were rubbish, right? I'm not taking that at all. Celtic had their chances to win that game. You've got to admit, Atalanta had more chances, but you've got to hit the back of the net. You've got to hit the back of the net. So saying it was an off game for Celtic, I don't think it was. I don't think it has. I think that Celtic are due a little bit of credit for that result in Italy, even more so after the results yesterday. Brownwater says, I brought this up on a video a couple of days ago, but my post mysteriously disappeared. I have no idea how that happens because I hardly read posts that come up on videos. I just concentrate on the live. I've not got enough time to read all the posts, so I don't know how that is, mate. And I make no apologies of having no time to go through 200 or 300 comments on a daily basis. I've got work to do. It's far more important. Jim F says Yamal's da is with a Celtic trackie. Yamal's da with a Celtic trackie. Yeah, I'd give Yamal's da a Celtic trackie any day, and said imagine what he's going to be worth, that young kid. I mean, he's only 17-year-old. Do you know what I mean? He's going to be some player. And the age of the Barcelona team. And I've got to say, whether you like it or not, I like the look of the Real Madrid stadium after they've done it up. They've got these massive screens on the top of the stadium. Absolutely huge. You're not going to miss anything in that stadium, that's for sure. And it looks good for the outside. He doesn't like Scotland, says Brian Hart, talking about Alessandro Bernabei. No, he was struggling settling in Scotland with the culture and the freezing cold weather and the rain constantly. Let's face it. It's hail from Bavaria. Stephen's coming in from Germany. Mark says he can score, but he can't defend, says Mark. How do you know, Mark? Because he's actually coming on to quite a game. He maybe could defend at his time at Scotland, but he's coming on to a game down in Brazil. So I'm just saying, like, you know. He's scoring, but he can't defend, says that. That's because we signed a wing back, not a left back. Never deployed him as a wing back under Ange either, or Brendan. Total waste of 4 million, says Brown Warrior. Total waste of 4 million. By the way, I think some of our players' bottle went in front of the team tactics and focused on themselves, says Big Des. Mark says, I wonder how effective starting Ida today would be saving Kyogo's energy for the last 30 minutes. An unexpected twist again. Well, that then takes us on, Mark, to the team predictions for this afternoon. It does take me on to our team prediction for the Motherwell versus Celtic game. So we all know that Cameron Carter-Vickers is back fit. We know that Greg Taylor's back fit, and they will both feature at some point. Now, will Brendan Rodgers take the chance? Take a chance on me. Will Brendan Rodgers take a chance and start either Cameron Carter-Vickers or Greg Taylor? And would that upset the apple cart of the team in the way that it's been performing over the last couple of games, especially defence-wise? Kasper Schmeichel will be in goals. Alistair Johnston will start, even though that he was cramping a lot towards the end of the game during the week. Austin Trusty, I reckon, will start before Cameron Carter-Vickers, as will Liam Scales. And then I think Trusty will be brought off. Or will Liam Scales be brought off? Here's a thing that we've never thought about. What if the manager, and the fact that he's going to bring on, nah, he wouldn't do that. But what if he was to bring on in the 70th minute, bring on Cameron Carter-Vickers, so he gets a run out towards the end of the game. But what if he was to take off Liam Scales, just to rest up Liam Scales, and then move Trusty into his favoured position? That would be interesting to see. And it'll be interesting that all eyes will be on Brendan to see if he does that tactically, or if he goes with the tried and trusted and takes Trusty out and leaves Liam Scales in for Cameron Carter-Vickers. I expect Alex Baye to start the game also, and then let Greg Taylor come on towards the end of the game to get some time back in his legs. It's going to be interesting over the next couple of weeks to see much game time, ultimately, because if you remember last season, David Turnbull stopped getting game time in the lead up to the Christmas period. And it was obviously the fact that Celtic knew that they were going to sell Turnbull at that time, so they wanted to make sure, obviously, for one, he's 100% fit and he doesn't get injured. Will Celtic do the same with Greg Taylor, the fact that he's now just back from an injury? Will they bring him in and get his leg time, get his fitness levels back up, put him in the market for the fact that he may be sold in the next transfer window, and it gives Alex Baye more time? That's the only reason that I'm thinking that Alexandro Bernabei may be brought back to Scotland at Christmas, because I'm sure his loan runs out at Christmas. Just after Christmas, the January transfer window. I'm sure that's when his loan runs out. And I think it would be interesting that if the manager, rather than dip into the transfer market with the unknown, goes, you know what, Bernabei's doing okay, let's bring him back. And we'll get him back and get him a few games during the January. And if it doesn't work out, and if he's not feeling it in Scotland, and if he's not feeling it, if he wants to go back to America, South America, he's then sold at that point. But I just think, will the manager bring him back for a couple of games? You don't know. You don't know what's going on at Celtic behind closed doors when it comes to recruitment. Anyway, in the midfield, you expect Callum McGregor to start the game. I think Paulo Bernardo will be starting also, which will let Arne Engels get some downtime after his exploits at Celtic over the past couple of weeks. Rio Hatate, I expect him to keep his place, but I expect Rio Hatate to go off in the second half for Arne Engels, because Paulo Bernardo and Arne Engels actually seem to team up quite well in the midfield together. But I do expect Callum McGregor, Paulo Bernardo and Rio Hatate more than likely to start the game today. Now on the wing, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer that you go with Dyson and Nicholas. Yep, it's a no-brainer. There's nobody touching them at the moment. There's nobody better on the sidelines. I mean, we're looking at Yang and Lewis Palmer. For me, Yang, I still don't know why we signed Yang. He was one that was brought in under the previous manager, Ange Postecoglou, and he's still not reached any heights. And I just don't see how he's going to get past Dyson, to be honest, or even Nico Kuhn. But anyway, up front, I think that Adam Ida will start the game again, because Celtic used Kyogo in a master plan fashion in Italy, and he caused the Italians a different kind of problem when it comes to the end part of the game. Now, I think that bringing Adam Ida in, and this is why I think Brendan Rodgers may do this afternoon, is the fact that if you start Adam Ida against the five back in the defence, if you start Adam Ida against a big stormy five back in the defence, if you start Kyogo, you know that the defenders are going to run at Kyogo and they're going to shoulder charge him off the ball, which is always happening over the last couple of seasons. But I think that if you start with Adam Ida, who's got a big presence up there, who can put himself about against the defenders, and then give the defence, as they are tiring towards the end of the game, you know, think about it, with 25 minutes to go, and then you see Kyogo coming off the bench, and the defenders are like, oh my God, are you having a laugh? Are you having a laugh? Are you having a laugh? You really having a laugh? They see Kyogo coming on, and the runs that Kyogo can make towards the end of the game. When it comes to the other substitutions, well, who knows who the manager will put on the bench. Will Luke McCowan get a starting slot? Don't think so. Will he get on the bench? Yes, I think Luke McCowan will come on in the second half also. So, anyway, let's jump back into the comments section. That all came about because Mark said, I wonder how effective starting Adam Ida today would be, saving Kyogo's energy for the last 30 minutes. I think it would be brilliant. We are going to be quite dominant in this game, but we're also going to be pretty solid, because they will try and hit us on the break, and I think that's why bringing Kyogo on for the last 30 minutes, even 25 minutes, could be a master plan by Brendan Rodgers. Gary Haycroft says good morning. Brown Warrior says rubber stamped by 40 minutes. No idea what you're talking about. Mark says good morning. And Big Des says... Brown Warriors just having them on. I think they get Taylor fit and get shot him in January. So Paul Baird, Paul, you're thinking the same as me. I think that get him fit, and I do think that it will go down the same route as what David Turnbull went. There's not a chance in the world that Celtic are going to let a £7.5 million asset walk away for free. Now, I don't know what the rate... I mean, absolutely nobody expected us to get £3 million for David Turnbull last winter. I think getting any team that gets Greg Taylor for $3 million down south is an absolute steal for them, and it gives Celtic some money in the bank. Now, there's even more money will come into the bank. The fact that if we do not bring back Alexandro Bernabe, he will be sold at this transfer window also, which will bring in the region of about another £3 million. So that's another £6 million coming into the coffers for Celtic this transfer. Will it allow Celtic to release a little bit of more cash and spend in the transfer window? We've spoken about it before, but who realistically, what position do we replace a player in? Because if we do bring a player in, it's obviously with the mindset of that someone's either going to leave this transfer window or the summer window, and that's what Celtic will be looking at. So that will be an interesting one to watch, because the manager has said that he does still fancy a couple of defenders and a striker. It'll just be interesting to see what positions that he does try to fill in the next window. But will players come to Celtic to sit on the bench for half a season? Because ultimately that's what they're going to do, pretty much, because it's just the way I see it. But anyway, I'm sure if Ange had as much say, Yang would be wrong. I think Ange is the one who signed Yang, so he had more say than what Brendan Rodgers had in his first year. Brendan Rodgers is learning every Champions League game. You've seen the results are all over the place in this format. The results are all over the place, and I think that Celtic are doing pretty much well. Craig reckons that Tierney's incoming. He reckons that Craig Tierney's incoming. This one will ramp up again as soon as we get through the busy month of November, and the closer that we get to December, and ultimately the transfer window in January. The Kieran Tierney story is coming back. I mean, that is an option that Celtic may have, is if Kieran Tierney's fit, Arsenal will want to get him loaned out to get him some game time, to put him in the transfer window, and to show teams that he can stay fit. Ultimately, he needs to stay fit. Kieran Tierney, if he comes to Celtic, will have to stay fit between now and the end of the season. Will Celtic make a move for him after that? I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't think so. But I think that he may be brought back if we sell Greg Taylor. Will Celtic be able to do a deal with Arsenal because of his unbelievable wages? Will Celtic, there's not a chance that Celtic are going to pay 50%. They're not going to pay him over 50 grand a week to come to Celtic and sit on the bench and be a bench warmer. I mean, that's the kind of thing that the mob across the road done with Aaron Ramsey. And I can't see Celtic doing that. Celtic are looking more to the future, but it may be a masterstroke because Alex Bailly, playing alongside Kieran Tierney, knows that Kieran Tierney is a top player, and can he excel even more as a youngster? So it's a difficult one, because ultimately I would rather see someone coming through from the B team, and Alex Bailly being our number one. But anyway, who knows? Up next, Rabbi Niz. Even with a loan to buy, players still have a say if he wants to come. There's no difference. Same one for Paul. Remember that Kenny will be coming back in January. Yes, a little man who is scoring for fun in Ireland. Will he be brought back as our third choice striker, or will he be sold? I don't know. Joseph says, and Baz, do I know what? And you need to sort of give me more than that. I can't see all the comments that are coming through because they're coming through that fast and thick. Brown Warrior. Right, Brown Warrior says, the question is whether he'll swallow his pride in Europe. Why are you having such a dig at Brendan Rodgers? I think that I'm not even going to go on about it, because I think that do you want Celtic to sit back and defend like that at Celtic Park? Or do you want Celtic to have a go at Celtic Park? Because you can't have both. I just think you're in a mood this morning, It's just going by your comments. You're in a bit of a mood this morning. Heavy night last night. Anyway, I'm going to jump through the comments. Brown Warrior, you're talking rubbish now, because Brendan Rodgers even said they went to Dortmund with trying to play the same way as... I'm not even going to go anywhere in the comments. You're just having a good moan this morning. Yes, Chuck, it is a nice top, and you can get similar ones on the Amazon shop that is in the comment and the description, as long as the results are positive. Anyway, go to my last question, Baz. Joseph, I am not... Type it again, because I'm not going all the way trying to find Joseph. Trips, can anyone in the comments tell me if they heard Alex Baye is an option to buy? He's not an option. He's not an option to buy. If that was the case, what's the point of the loan? There's no option to buy. If that's the one that we're talking about. Anyway, 3 at the back, CCV Scales, Tierney sounds like a decent option. Not a chance, Craig. Not a chance. CCV's too injury prone and Tierney's too injury prone. They wouldn't last a season. For me, I think that the manager ultimately will be looking, will be moving on from that at some point. Jerry says, morning folks, when the fuck is the young North Belfaster down Turley getting a whack at it? I know, all big Liam's fans, but I hope, of course, Adam's a good choice. Me not being biased, I can't wait to see young Turley getting some game time. He's been in and around the team since the start of the season. Stephen Johnson Hill, can you put the thing for the shop up on the screen? Yeah, give me 2 seconds, Stephen, because what I'll do is I'll copy. I'll put it up here so you can click the link, and that'll take you straight to it. If you click on that, it'll take you straight to the One Celtic Fans View shop, and you can get trainers, you can get Celtic pint glasses, you can get Celtic merch, you can get green jackets, you can get all sorts. And you can even get look good guys. You can get loads of stuff. Loads of stuff in the Amazon shop. The One Celtic Fans View Amazon shop. So there is the link there, Stephen. So cheers for that. At this stage, Alex Baye looks a bit lightweight and possibly another player who couldn't handle the climate in the Scottish game for too long, says Mark. I don't think so. I think that Alex Baye is a player that would fit into the Scottish game quite easily, but ultimately, when you see the youthfulness of the Barcelona team, and he's seen a 17-year-old kid excel in the team, he knows that Barcelona put him out on loan to get him some game time. You've got to remember, Alex Baye made his debut for Barcelona this summer. They made his debut for Barcelona this summer. They've got lots of options in that area as it is. They wanted to put him out at a team that he played. He was on loan from the B team to Juventus, I think it was, last season, which were 2 leagues down. Barcelona wanted to see him play a higher level of football. The fact that Celtic came calling and Celtic were straight into the Champions League, Barcelona then let him out to Celtic. He signed a new contract with Barcelona and then he was loaned straight out to Celtic because Celtic were in the Champions League. So I expect him to go back to Barcelona. I don't think that he will stay at Celtic. I'm expecting him to go Barcelona, and he'll be a big name. What is it? Why are you grumping? Dog's grumping. Anyway, Paul Baird says, I wish the KT talk would disappear. Forget about a return to Celtic. Brown Warrior says, I've watched us get routinely humped in the Champions League for years under Ange and the oh come on mate, it's not even, we've got a game today. Stop moaning about that. We do have a game today and we are playing Motherwell, and it's a must-win game. It is a must-win game because when you look at the table, we're not even top of the league. Do you know what I mean? We're 3 points behind Aberdeen. So let's get talking up Celtic and let's get talking up the game today because it's a must-win game for Celtic. If Celtic were to drop any points today at all against Motherwell, you can't see it because goals for Motherwell have got 11 for, 9 against. It's going to be a tight game. It's going to be a tight game at Motherwell. I think prediction-wise, it's not going to be a high-scoring game. I think Celtic will win maybe 2-0 maximum. Anyway, that takes us on to the next bit. Let us get your predictions in the scoreline. And good news, we're sitting on 19,443. It's going up slowly. I'm going to have to start doing pre-recorded videos because that's the ones that seem to get the subscribers rather than the live videos. So in the mornings, don't be surprised if the live stop in the mornings just while we get the channel bumping up again because the subscriber count has slowed down just a little bit. Just a little bit longer. Joseph says, yeah, Baz, but it was Valle who didn't want the buyout. The fans are not happy at his club. I've not really looked at too much on how much about the Barcelona setup. I just watched the first team. Brian Warrior says, see you later, enjoy. Jim F says, we should be going for Yamal on loan in January, just to give him experience. Oh, Jim, come on. There's absolutely, as much as I'd love to get him on loan at Celtic, he's not going anywhere. I mean, he ran rings around Real Madrid last night. I mean, I don't know if you watched the game, but oh my God, it was a game and a half. I mean, Real Madrid had their chances. Real Madrid had about 4 or 5 chances on target, where you're thinking, one-on-one with the keeper, you're thinking they're going to score. But the Barcelona keeper was absolutely brilliant last night. And it just shows you. Anyway, I feel the need to beat Leipzig, otherwise, or do something in Zagreb. I think we're going to be lucky to beat Leipzig. When you look at Leipzig, they are top of the league in Germany, in Dortmund. Dortmund are sitting in 7th position on 13 points. And this is puts it all into perspective. Leipzig are top of the league on 20 points after 8 matches played. Puts it all into perspective. Anyway, that's us done and dusted for this morning. We will be live 1 hour and 15 minutes before the game today as the team comes out, and we'll do the live, and then we'll be doing a live after the game is finished. So Jim F, I've never seen your comments. I need to get 2 screens. I need to open up 2 screens, because just jumping from one screen to another is no good. Anyway, in fact, Grace has already said it will go to 4 now. Big Des says, I could see us running a goal fest 5-0 today. We are competing in the Champions League, and not just for top 12. We are competing. Grace says it's going to be 3-1 today. Stephen Johnson's going for 4-0 Celtic. Patrick's going for 3-1 Celtic. Grab Boy's going for 3-0 Celtic. And I think that's about all the predictions. I'm going to go for 2-0 Celtic. I think it's going to be a good one. And yeah, but there's more pre-recorded videos. Yeah, the pre-recorded videos seem to do a bit better as well also. So there's going to be more pre-recorded ones in the morning, which last a bit longer. Baz, today it will be close, but we all want it as a whopping scoreline. Tom says, when injuries, suspensions kick in later this season, the sheep will be lambs to the slaughter. Their squad is not big enough to cope. And the same with the Buns. Well, let's hope so. And let's just get to Christmas and still have a bit of a title race. Because we all know what happens after the new year. Celtic put the pedal to the metal and just forward on to win the league. And anyway, we've got an important game against Aberdeen at Hampden to come before then. Anyway, thank you for watching. There has been over 1,000 people who's watched the video so far this morning. There's currently 279 people on the live right now. There's only 61 thumbs up. Make sure that you do give the video a thumbs up. James Smith is going for 5-0. Mobley's going for 3. Craig is going, your score prediction, Baz, I'm going 2-1. I'm going for 2-0, Craig. I think that Celtic will be a bit sweeter in defence today. They'll want to get back to... Remember, Celtic had a clean sheet record at the beginning of this season. We seem to have forgotten about that. The team will want to get back to the clean sheets. The team will want to get back to the clean sheets. So that's why I'm going for 2-0 today. I will take 9 points for the remaining games in Europe all day long, says Paul Baird. And Alan Stevenson gets the last word. He's going for 4-1 Celtic. Have a fantastic